Namaste Galactic Family, and welcome back to my channel IndigoAngel. Welcome if you're new, and if you're returning, don't forget to hit the notifications bell and hit the like button as you come on in the room. So today I am going to be doing a collective soul reading for the Pleiadian Starseed for the month of May. Okay, Pleiadian Starseeds, here are your cards for the month of May. So we have the Star card here. So there is a forward accelerative motion in terms of the photonic radial encryption, in terms of the fifth density structure, and the fifth dimensional reality fields that the Pleiadian Starseed upholds. There is an accelerative motion in the reality fields that it is upholding at this time. There is almost... So you're going to be, as a Pleiadian Starseed, you're going to be holding the gift of hope, the gift of inspiration, generosity, serenity, and faith. You are being basically prepared for spiritual warfare. You're being prepared with the helmet of salvation and the breastplate of righteousness, the belly of truth, the shields of faith, the swords of spirit, and the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. You are being recalibrated from the first primal light ray. So you're going to be getting this accelerative energy to assist the collective, to assist the rest of the other star nations, as you're going to be the initial boots on the ground. You can kind of see here, it's pretty much the Queen of Pentacles, and it's this really strong divine feminine matriarchal energy that's really grounded in the physical. You're going to be birthing the new reality fields. You're going to be this really strong, powerful force in terms of balancing out the imbalances in nature. So there's a lot of recalibration that's coming on into the planet for future reality fields that are going to be existing over the next 6 months even. You're planting a lot of these seeds at this time, as Pleiadians are typically the initiators from anything that comes from 5D. So all 5D wars, all of the freedom wars, all of the Liberty Wars, I want to say, all of this will be initiated from this Pleiadian collective. So you are the ones that are sowing the seeds at this time for every single galactic nation. So you're getting a lot of assistance from the universe at this time. There's a lot of leaving the old for new. There's a lot of also staying with what you know. But you have basically cycled through the accumulation of desires. You've assessed a lot of what's necessary and what's not. You've looked at your limitations. You've looked at a lot of your own shadow. You've looked at your own mental disturbances. You've looked at your own fighting spirit. And you are learning to basically rebalance yourself. It's almost kind of like you're learning to walk again, but you're getting stronger every single day. And you're also really highly being supported by Alpha Centauri, the Centaurs, the spiritual energy of the gladiators. So I keep seeing Rome. I keep seeing the gladiator inside of the Rome Cathedral or the Rome Colosseum where the gladiator wars took place. And it's kind of like you've been thrown out into this Colosseum to fight, and you're just starting to realize that you have this spiritual tiger inside of you, and it's awakening more and more every single day as you feel the insurgence of the blue ray, as you feel this recalibration lifting you up from the ground up. You're still battling some internal aspects though, in terms of not really knowing who the enemy is. There's some confusion, is you just don't want to get it wrong. You want to get it right. And so you are having to distinguish through your mirrors and really work through a lot of mental, I want to say just like unclarity, mental disturbances, particularly pertaining from the infodemic, particularly pertaining from the bombardment of information that's coming from all different ways and resources, but you're actually starting to get a grip. You're starting to get a handle on it. You're starting to get stronger in your own fact checking, in your own research, and you're really starting to be able to see the bigger picture. You just don't want to point the gun at the wrong person right now. So there's still this very like cautious approach. And also just this inner battle of you're seeing yourself in others, but yet seeing the enemy in others too. And so it's this really fine line that you're kind of walking right now. It's like you're walking like on a tightrope where you're just really trying to maintain the balance without falling off the rope as you continue to build this spiritual strength, this spiritual armor. You're wanting to make more calculated moves. You don't just want to fly off the handle and do something risky or expose yourself to something unnecessarily. You are wanting to put your best foot forward in terms of the information, the knowledges, and the resources that you have at hand. Two of Pentacles. So I'm sensing a lot of Pleiadian energy that's infiltrating the Pleiadian collective. So the Pleiadian collective is torn in a lot of polarity, a lot of duality at this time. A lot of this perception is clearing. A lot of this smoke is clearing from the emotional body. And so the emotional body is going through this recalibration of bringing things back into wholeness. The more that you continue to ground into your foundation, the more that you're going to be able to see this wholeness, because the strength right now is coming from the foundation. The strength right now is coming from the biological and the planetary root chakra, as this is where the initiation of the blue ray recalibration is coming from. Okay, so all of that interconnectedness is starting to make more sense and the bigger picture is starting to unfold. But you are transmitting to the star system Polaris at this time. So Polaris is anchoring in a lot of cosmic intelligence, a lot of galactic intelligence from other universal nations at this time. Another galactic nation that has been coming up a lot that I might do a reading on next is Andromeda. Other galactic consciousness bodies are aware of what is playing out within this nursery. And so there is assistance that is coming through very high light sources such as diamond light, platinum light, white light, silver light, even silver quartz. So we might even be getting reverse reverberation up through silver quartz. And so there's a lot of ultra-terrestrial and extraterrestrial energy that is assisting Earth from a very galactic space. So Pleiadians, you would be channeling this through that star encryption connection to Polaris, also from the metagalactic core. So there is a little bit of recuperation, reflection, and withdrawal. There's just some resting and recharging that needs to take place for both the mind, the body, and the spirit, the emotional body, for you to continue to move forward. There is some healing that kind of needs to come through, and there is a little bit of taking a step back from the overall situation and going within and really connecting to your own connection to source, and then viewing the new information at that time. It's almost like information's coming in, but there's enough wisdom to sit with that information and wait, and then let your galactic guides come forth and help you to filter through the information on a higher intellectual level. So that way, when you act or react, it is in accordance to the highest perception. The more that particularly the Pleiadian collective and the Pleiadian soul group initiates that move, they're going to set the scale for the other density structures, reality fields, and ultimately the other galactic nations that are participating with the Guardian Alliance, and also the occult Stargate nations as well. They're all going to kind of follow the suit of what the Pleiadian heart is expressing to the overall collective mind. Okay, so there's just a lot of cautiousness and just this reflection as wanting to examine all information that's coming in. Sometimes the information is filled with it's too much, so it actually makes you go to sleep. There's times where it's too integrative and it's actually physically wiping out the molecular structure. So there's a lot of sleeping that's going on. Spiritual wealth is going to be helping stabilize the foundation. This is a lot of solar energy as well. So we're receiving assistance from solar deity, also from Gaia. So it's kind of like they're merging. You can kind of see how the green grass or these green weeds are growing out through the pentacles. This is that is this merging of solar energy with Gaia. Okay, so this is solidifying that foundation. It's also suggesting that there's a lot of careful planning that is being projected through this soul group, this soul collective. So this soul group is not going to make any hasty decisions. It's going to really carefully plan its next move. It's also going to share its belongings once it can see what the abundance is supposed to be directed towards. So there's a lot of giving back to charity, and there's a lot of sharing prosperity and wealth that's earned. There's also this intense fear on more of a human level, where you're just in fear of becoming poor or losing everything you have. There's this wanting to release this feeling of being a slave to your belongings, a slave to your mortgage, a slave to your car payment, a slave to technology. There's just this real human desire to really want to get as natural as possible. There's this real desire to want to step away from just 5G radiation, get as organic as possible. There's a many of you within this soul collective that are making a lot of steps to be as organic as possible, which I know is really hard to do right now. But there are many of you that are really seeking to create something that you can assist others with this as well. There's also a lot of knowing or gnosis within this soul collective that we need to come together as community. So this is really, really strong. But this is also in its developing phases. This is from the core being of you. This is coming through your ancestors. This is coming through your native and indigenous families. So a lot of prayers at this time from past and future beings are basically coming to deliver wisdom in what to do during raids, and what to do during times where your village might have been taken over by savages. So these wisdoms are being gifted to this soul collective, that there is this need for this information. You might be receiving a lot of gifts of knowledge at this time. So just be prepared to abundantly receive gifts of knowledge at this time that will be extensively coming from ancestral connections. And it's also encouragement that, goals are being reached. You are obtaining this comfort of success, and you are basically on your way to a level of spiritual prosperity. Also, this is assistance with that spiritual armor as well. This recalibration within the blue ray is extensively coming from ancestral energy as well. So all of this is being recalibrated from these energetic fields. Okay, Pleiadian Starseeds, namaste. I love you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed this May reading. If you would like a Starseed origin reading, you can find me at IndigoAngel222.com. And I have a list of all of my services there. You can check me out on Patreon, patreon.com/IndigoAngel. And I love you guys so much. I'll see you on the next read.